In the previous video, we learned to combine operations when we simplify formulas. The logic was the same as calculating with numbers: multiplication first and then addition and subtraction. But with numbers, we're also used to dealing with brackets, and here we will encounter a problem. You know how to do this. The brackets tell us you have to add first, then multiply. 3 plus 2 is 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. But now let's look at a similar formula involving letters. The order of operation tells us again, and correctly, that we first add x and y, and then multiply the result by 4. But x and y are not like terms, so we can't simply add these. So it seems we can't simplify this formula. It seems we get stuck. We still want to get rid of the brackets, however. A simplified version of a formula is always one without brackets. So we will have to reconsider. So let's go back to the example with the numbers. 4 times and then 3 plus 2. There is another, more indirect way to calculate the result. We can multiply out the brackets. That is, we can multiply 4 and 3, and multiply 4 and 2, and then add the results. Let's verify that this works. 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 2 is 8, and 12 plus 8 is indeed 20. And this technique also works with letters. We can, in this formula, multiply the 4 by the x, and then we multiply it by y, and we add the results. So we get 4x plus 4y. Of course, these are still not like terms, so this is the most simplified version of our formula. To understand why this technique of multiplying out the brackets works, think of how you would calculate the area of this rectangle with length x plus y and width 4. The area of a rectangle is the length times the width. So the area here is 4 times x plus y. This formula contains brackets because we want to show that we are multiplying 4 by the whole length, not just by x. But we can break the rectangle apart to get two rectangles, one with length x and one with length y. What are the areas of those individual rectangles? Well, the area of this rectangle will be 4 times x, so 4x, and the area of this rectangle is 4 times y. So what is the total area of these two rectangles? That will be 4x plus 4y. And the total area of the big rectangle and that of the smaller rectangles stayed the same. So that means that 4x plus 4y is the same as 4 times x plus y. So that means we have a technique for simplifying a product involving brackets. We multiply the factor in front of the brackets by each of the terms inside of the brackets. We can make the factors and terms as complicated as we like, and the technique stays the same. If we want to simplify this formula, we multiply 6b by 2a, and then we add the product of 6b and 1/2 c. 6b times 2a is 12ab, and 6b times 1/2 c is 3bc. When we subtract the terms inside of the brackets, instead of adding them, the rule works the same, except now we copy the minus sign rather than the plus sign. So here we get 2x times 3y minus 2x times 4. So that means 2x times 3y is 6xy, and 2x times 4 is 8x. Again, when multiplying negative numbers, we have to be careful. There are two valid ways to look at this formula: negative 2a multiplied by 3a minus 7b. The first is this: negative 2a times 3a, then copy the minus sign, and then take negative 2a times 7b. Negative 2a times 3a is negative 6a squared, and negative 2a times 7b is negative 14ab. So we get negative 6a squared minus negative 14ab, and that becomes negative 6a squared plus 14ab. The other way to look at this is as follows. We start in the same way, negative 2a times 3a, and now we multiply negative 2a by negative 7b. So we've already used the minus sign, so we don't have to copy it again. Now we evaluate this. Negative 2a times 3a is negative 6a squared, and now negative 2a times negative 7b is positive 14ab. Positive, so a plus sign, and this is a slightly quicker way of getting the same result, which I actually prefer. There may be cases in which it is not immediately clear what number we are multiplying by, such as here. That is because there is no number immediately before the brackets. In that case, the number that has been omitted is a 1. So when we simplify this formula, we copy the first term, then we start multiplying out the brackets. Negative 1 times 2a is minus 2a, and negative 1 times negative 5, that is positive 5. And we can simplify this. 3a minus 2a becomes a, so we get a plus 5. A final example involving two pairs of brackets. We resolve this as follows. 7 times 3a gives 21a. 7 times minus 4b gives minus 28b. Minus a times 4a gives minus 4a squared. And minus a times minus 7 gives plus 7a. And then we check for like terms, and we see 21a and 7a, and we can add those up, and we get negative 4a squared plus 28a minus 28b.